right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody join in here. 1 second, please. Do 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 do. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. I love it. Chad looks like the without back of head. We'll see. Nice. Well, good. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great. And thanks for tuning in here for the lunchtime market update for Tuesday, November the 23rd, 2021. And whew, what a day today. So we're definitely getting into that holiday, that pre-holiday action. So pretty interesting stuff there. We'll take a look at most of the big names here today. We'll take a look at the sectors, IWM, and a lot of the some of the popular names that are being chatted about here today. I'm going to try to remember to do a little bit of the ChatterQuant chats here today. But some good finds there today. I know it helped out Paul Algo382 with Bank of America and our Elliott Wave group. Of course, Tesla was a big name today, so we'll take a look at those in a little bit and kind of go from there. So good. So before we get started, though, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. So again, like I said, guys, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of run through a bit of the market here, and then we're going to take a look at some of the big names, and then we'll take a look at some chart requests out there, whatever you guys want to look at, and just kind of wrap up here for the afternoon and see what we have in store for the close. But pretty interesting stuff. So good. So let's get started. All right, so SPX guys, so far today we're down about 9 points. Again, upper shadow here on the monthly chart, but still green, right? So there's a little bit of positive stuff going on there. Weekly chart, so it was a shooting star bearish engulfing candle yesterday, and today it looks like it's turning into a full bearish engulfing. Look at that! If we end up closing below last week's lows, that's a bearish candle, right? Because the real body is not only engulfing the prior real body, but it's engulfing the entire real candle. Oh no, it didn't hit above those highs. Disregard. Yeah, whenever I see that, that's like the ultimate bearish engulfing, right? Where it engulfs the entire candle, right? This is a bearish engulfing candle here, engulfing the real body, but not the entire candle, right? So we didn't get that, and even a couple weeks ago we didn't get that either. This was close, didn't quite get there. We didn't even get there for the Corona crash. It's a tough one to find, right? Like the full bearish engulfing. This one looks like it might have been one here, but no follow through to the downside. So, but anyway, pretty cool stuff. So we'll see what we get. We'll see how this week ends up finishing. Remember, it's a short week this week, guys. So we're starting to see a little bit of that kind of low volume type stuff heading into the holidays, right? I mean, there's a lot of folks that are taking off here. Of course, we're busy, we're active, we're still looking, we're still staring at charts, still falling asleep here. It feels like we're taking a Thanksgiving nap right after a big meal. So, but anyway. Good stuff there, but I appreciate everybody tuning in here to the Positive Trends family and the Bubblehead family here as we continue to as we continue to navigate the markets here through the week. So pretty cool stuff. We'll see how that week ends up holding there. So interesting candle on yesterday, right? So we got a big push to all-time high, shooting star candle. This was a bearish engulfing candle, but not fully. It didn't fully take out the whole candle. It doesn't have to be bearish engulfing. Like this is bearish engulfing, not over the whole candle. So as long as the real body is engulfed, it's okay. So we got that yesterday, and we closed below the 8 EMA, right? So that leaves pretty much everything suspect. Right, so we did get a little bit of fall through the downside, a little bit of a rally here so far today, but still under the 8 EMA, right? So that keeps us a little bit concerned. As for our wave counts, I need to check with Paul and see what he's looking at here on this one for the watches, because this is starting to get interesting, right? There's a couple things that could be happening here. We talked about this morning. So one of the things that is no longer happening is this is no longer a 1-2. Off of this move, right? So at least off of this wave. So there's no subwaves right here. So I'm actually going to edit this here. Actually, I'm going to activate this. I'm going to bring this down here. So this could actually be wave 1 and wave 2 here. I'm going to just remove that here. Remove this here. Remove. Activate. There. Right. So this actually could be the wave 1 up. This could have been wave 3. This could have been A, B, C, wave 4. It was a nice clean 5 waves up, but it may still just be kind of doing its thing. So we have this, and then we have this, activate, activate. So we're going to go like this here, guys. Look at this. We're doing wave counts live here. I love it. It's some cool stuff there. So, and then this becomes the A. B. C wave 4, right? So expanded flat, and then we just got to know the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there, right? So there's your wave 1, right? And this kind of looks zigzaggish, right? So 1, 2, 3. So we could be working on wave 2. What I would do at this point now is if this wave is going to be valid, is get your 618 on here, right? So that's a nice, pretty reasonable pullback right here. We just undershot the 618, so we just might be starting a fresh impulsive wave up here, going into Thanksgiving, going into Turkey Day. So we'll see how that goes. But again, low volume type stuff. We'll take a look at the futures here in a little bit, and take a look at the volume and all that. So anyway, let's go with this for now. This could be A. We might just see a wave B. We might see a wave C. As long as we don't take out the wave C low or the wave 4 low, or the start of this wave, then this could be valid. All right. So that's one bullish count right there. There is the possibility for a bearish count, of course. This could have been, like we said, this could have just been it. This could have been 3, 4, and this could have been wave 5. Right. So this could be wave 5 right here, done. And the market is done. It's topped out, right? And so now we could be working on a larger corrective wave. A lot of folks are getting a little bit concerned about some stuff, like, right, McClellan oscillators and bearish divergences and all that stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But again, we got some nice drops here this morning, and the fact that we had that sort of tailwind to the downside really helped us, especially with this SPX and the Qs, helped us find some short opportunities this morning, right? So we pointed out Apple on the short side today, which was epic, and then we pointed out Tesla, which was like super epic, and that was basically it. Now the market's just kind of like calming down, right? So we've got that going on now. Let's take a look at this buy and see what kind of volume we got coming in here today. Let's go to the daily chart. This buy. So again, yesterday was pretty good volume on the breakdown below those candles right here. We're actually not bad in terms of volume, right? It's only 12:30, and volume's already up to these ranges right here. So it is very possible, especially if we take the same volume in the next half of the day, right? We could get some volume, and that could definitely happen if we start to see some selling. So really the big question is, does anybody want to hold over the Thanksgiving holiday, right? There's theories out there that, the market always goes up during like the holidays or over Thanksgiving and all that stuff. But I mean, it's just a pattern, right? So and we could easily break that, especially if everybody's thinking about it. Market's like, we'll go ahead and stay down here this week. So we have that as a possibility, but other than that, volume's obviously lower than yesterday, but still generally pretty decent so far, especially for 12 o'clock. So we'll see what ends up going into the afternoon on this one. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and dig into the intraday volume and see how the candles are looking right now and how they based at the open. So we'll take a look at some of our levels that we like to play around with here. So again, guys, I tweet all these levels out every morning. You don't necessarily get all of them. If you're in our group or in the bubble report, you get all these free, or you get them all included. I actually share all the levels with the folks in our Discord every morning, so you can actually just download them and upload them to your Thinkorswim. Really powerful stuff, right? I mean, because if you look at the drop here today, it was right to our level, right to the overnight low, and then the final wick below is right to our support zone, which actually held up pretty well the last couple days. That support zone's been pretty strong here, so cool stuff there. Definitely seeing some. That's our demand level, right? So looking okay. In the meantime, though, we pushed up pretty strong here this morning. Reminded me of yesterday, but it was a little bit different yesterday as we gapped up and we pushed. And today, 3 white soldiers up for a little bit of move to the upside. And kind of going from there, but a nice move is kind of down at the open, or a little bit suspect of that. We wanted to be bearish, but we usually wait for the opening candles to kind of calm down. And then about 10 o'clock, we got our 10 o'clock jiggle time right here, and a big shooting star candle here at the highs, and then some increased volume red candles, which work their way down, right? And right off of the overnight highs, and right off of our resistance zone, and also off of this major geometric line right here. So that was a really important one there today too. So pretty cool stuff. And in terms of volume, 25,000 contracts here, and then we actually got a nice sell-off right here, which is nice. This is where we started to point out a lot of short ideas because things were just breaking down, and there was some nice chart setups. And we'll take a look at Apple and all that in a little bit. So this candle actually at 10:05 actually got 37,000 contracts, which is nice. And guys, typically we can move up on low volume, but we typically don't move down on low volume. So when you get these nice big flushes right here, really beautiful. Everybody's dumps their shares and all that. So a little bit of a retrace right here. So kind of here's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down. This kind of looks like an A, B, C type move. So we may actually see a little bit more downside here going into the afternoon for another impulsive wave down, which would be pretty fun as well. So and tomorrow should be actually pretty fun too. I don't mind a choppy day right before the holidays, especially if we're going to be selling premium. Just gives us some good opportunities to get some setups, etc. So pretty cool stuff there. Let's take a look again, guys. Some folks like to trade just the MES. Obviously, the chart's going to be the same, but we still look at it and gives us an opportunity to maybe kind of just put a different perspective on it. So one thing here, that was not good. That was not good. So we'll go here and just Thinkorswim, sometimes it goes a little bit slow, and then it pops up stuff, and then it's like you click it, and it's like it was there, it wasn't there before when you're clicking, all that stuff. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on this here, see how it holds this geometric line going into the afternoon. But like I said, it could be a wave 1, ABC, wave 2, wave 3, or whatever the case is going into the afternoon. That could support the zigzag down theory, right? So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Blah, 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 blah. Other than that, what else we got? We got the Qs. The Qs today. So the Qs are generally staying down here pretty well too. So again, nice geometric line on here. Basically just kind of shows that, hey, all these upper shadows are showing a little bit of resistance into this area. And this also gave us a nice clue here, kind of put us on our FANG names, the names we like to trade on the short side, to give us a little more downside movement, right? So that was nice there on the Qs today. All right. Let's take a look at ZIWM. So again, this has been really the big kind of chatter name out there these days, or at least the amongst chartists. And we pretty much broke down here and lost the a couple main levels. Let me get a cleaner chart up here for you guys that we've been doing. I'm gonna remove the Bollinger. I'll keep the Bollinger Band up there. It looks a little cluttery, but this kind of is what it is. So big triangle. Right on the IWM, you kind of this 1, 2, 3, 4 wave 4 triangle, and possibly wave 5. However, right, we kind of have this 1, 2, 3, and we could actually be working on a maybe an ending diagonal right here. But the fact that we lost this this geo line right here is pretty significant. To say whether or not this breakout was a fake out or not, or a retest, right? So let's give it a week or so and see what it does. If it comes back in the middle of this range right here, we'll just some gobbledygook type stuff, and maybe that was the end of the wave, truncated fifth, or whatever the case is, and then we'll see where we go from there. But if it holds, we get a nice green candle, say like next week, maybe IWM will start to work its way up. It's kind of amazing to believe that it would do this. I mean, look at what it did after the Corona crash. I mean, it's already moved so much, but we'll see where it goes from there. So that's kind of been one of the big names that a lot of folks have been looking at. Other than that, you do have the XLF today, so generally pretty strong. We're working our way all the way up to the top of the flag that we've been putting in the bubble report here. So essentially a doji sandwich up right here. Again, see how it handles this the top of this channel. This could be resistance right here, but hard for the market to flush when the banks are up, right? Because as go the banks, so go the markets, right? So see how we close here today. Again, big doji candle yesterday, and watch for resistance up here. And then if we start to pull back here on the banks, then in the next day or so, that could weigh heavy on the market. So we definitely want to see that. Or if it breaks out of the triangle or breaks out of the this extended flag right here, or channel as well, then we might see more upside on it. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on the banks here going forward. Big concern, right, was the VIX this morning. Right, we're kind of testing the 20 level. In fact, we're sitting just over 20 right now. So this is like whoa, right? So a couple days, right, we've been over the 80 MA on the VIX, which has basically just been left the market suspect, right? So the longer we stay over there, right, the more suspicious I get. And the fact that we're sitting at 20 right now is a huge level for institutions to be like taking risk off. So I would say if the market closes above, if the VIX closes above 20 with any sort of strength today, watch out, right? Things could get really interesting. So, because that shows that hey, things might be gearing up. Market participants a little bit nervous, whatever the case is, going into the holiday here and possibly into the future. But Apple, guys, nice move here today. We shorted this at the open, or in the opening stream here this morning. Look at the shooting star candle yesterday. That definitely gives us a bearish sentiment going into today. Looks like wave 5 may be done. So we have a couple good reasons to look for short opportunities here today, and we got short here out of this zone this morning. And it might not look like much, but once we broke down out of our zone this morning, this gave us a nice push down to our zone right here, and this turned out to be a really really strong trade. Ended up making 50 cents on the 160. What was it? The 160. The 160s, I think. Yeah, the 160s about in the money on those. And powerful move, right? 50 cents on options on Apple during the day is actually a really good trade. So we were pretty happy about that today. So it's a nice move there. We're just kind of chopping around right now. So we'll see how it holds these levels. But like I said, guys, the volume now, right, in the market is just kind of blah, right? So if we go to the and it usually does get that way anyway during the day, and we kind of wait until the end of the day to see, what kind of perkiness, things get to. But, generally right now, option contracts about 8,000 contracts. The inside candle and the last candle is 12,000 contracts. So, I mean, it's not too bad for intraday, but that's what we've been looking at. And then finally, we pointed out a short today on Tesla, and I posted that in the public Twitter for everybody in our group. And I said Tesla OOF. Here's the title of this one, and this was big, guys. We waited. We didn't grab it at the highs because it's Tesla. It could just be chopping around. But once we lost this major zone right here, this was a short for us too, just like Apple, and gave us a nice short. Kind of came back, retested it really quickly, and then gave us a beautiful 3-candle downside action. And we weren't thinking this thing's gonna go completely flush, but we were targeting the 1130. Level right here, just because it's a nice whole number, and it gave us a good move. And these went in the money and ended up going from $24 to over 30, or almost a 10-point move, like $34 on those, and back down again here on this retrace. So it's pretty cool stuff there on Apple, just not on Tesla, just not seeing as much volume as we saw earlier, right? Because this is significant, right? To see this volume that came out here on the 5-minute chart, that's big, right? This is what we like. This kind of increased volume we like, right? So the 209,000 contracts on that, our shares on that candle, and this candle 475,000. So we like when we double volume on Tesla. So that helped give us the inspiration to take that one short. So that ended up being a good trade today too. But other than that, wasn't too much going on. Oh, Tesla is breaking down right here. We're actually losing the low of the day. This is a tough level to get short. I don't like shorting the lows of the day. Now, granted, it was here, but we were breaking out of a major level. But we got a couple support zones below right here, so I'm just going to see if those hold. And they still might tag 1100 and try to bounce off of it. So see if they bounce off 1100 to go. I'm not going to force anything here on Tesla. But others and Zat, those are kind of the big names right there that have been happening today. So other than that, I didn't really mess with too much else. But I will show you some other names that are on the radar, and then we'll take a look at some of your requests too. And if you guys have any into the afternoon. But Bitcoin. So what happened to Bitcoin? So Bitcoin, it's doing okay here today. I mean, we're up about 1,600 points here, so it's not doing horrible. But the big thing that we're looking at right here is what's going on with the big drop in the daily chart, right? So we have this. We're under the geometric line right here. This downward trend line off of the bump line, and so it's a down bump line. Upper shadow here kind of brought us all the way down under the 80 MA, and then kind of we got to our 50-day moving average, which is our target, right? So one of the big levels that we're concerned about is the 54,000. This area right here, 54,400. If we break down below there, 52,500-ish is very possible, right? So, but in the meantime, they are still defending the 50-day, and really at this point now, in order for me to get bullish on Bitcoin, we would have to get above the geometric line, above the 80 MA, and just give us a little bit of confirmation of the upside. But other than that, guys, it could be you kind of have this sharkish type pattern in the upside. And we're kind of working on that CD wing down on that. So I would expect to get a bounce on this in a little maybe in a week or so, but let's just kind of keep an eye on it, see how it holds these levels, and again, the more green candles, the better on it, right? So that's one of the big things right there. And of course, with Tesla down and Roku down, which we'll look at here in a second. Well, actually, let's look at Roku next, and then we'll take a look at the ARKK, right? Because Kathy Wood, one of our favorite people, is struggling, right, with her buys, right? So she keeps on buying the dip, but it keeps on dipping, right? And so Roku's a big one here that's been very, 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 very rough here over the last couple of weeks. Look at these monthly charts, right? Do you guys want to be involved when we're like this? No, right? So unless you're catching a falling knife, so that's what we're trying to do, right? And if we go to a clean chart here without all our levels on it, right? This is a major level to hold right here. Breakout level, support level, bounce, and we broke below it, right? Once we broke below it, at this point now it's all just guessing, right? I mean, for the most part, we don't exactly know where things are going, but we can use levels and use geometry and use all these tactics to our benefit, of course. But here, right? So broke down below the levels, and we're kind of at a major level right here. Really, the big level next to that we're contending with on Roku is going to be the 200. right? 200, I would imagine that we consolidate a little bit there, right? We spent a few weeks there here on Roku in the past, right? It was essentially near prior resistance, and now it's it could be support right here in this area. That's on the weekly chart, but there are gaps below on the weekly, right? So the was it 170? Oh no, I was thinking about Zune, but still, there probably are some gaps down here somewhere on the weekly. But other than that, guys, 200 is gonna be a major level. We'll see how that holds, and then maybe we'll consolidate, and then it'll maybe get a run up into earnings or something like that. But that's kind of the big thing that we're looking at there on Roku. So let's look at the ARKK, right? So Kathy Wood's got Tesla. She's been selling Tesla on the way up, which is good. You got to credit her for that. But she's buying Roku on the way down, and the ARKK has been chopping around for a while. Obviously, it was a big move last year, but into this year, you can see we're pretty much sideways action so far. And now we're breaking below the weekly cloud, right? So the next big level on this one is kind of that 99 area, and we just kind of need to see how it holds, but definitely not a pretty chart right here, right? So once we lost the 200-day, the 50-day, and the 80-MA right here on the 18th with increasing volume, you can see we got some nice follow through the downside. And this is exactly the type of trade we like to take in our group, right? So we're also below kind of a major pivot level right here, and the next big one is this cluster zone. We got an open gap below as well. So again, tough to chase right now, like we talked about this weekend, right? Like it's like, oh, now I'll go short on ARK. No, you kind of want to wait till it sets up here, right? And it kind of gets going. So this was a big push here below the 80-MA. We sideways a little bit and then down. So we got that going on. Zumba, she's also been buying Zumba here too, but just wanted to talk about Zumba a little bit separately because this was another. Oh, we also shorted this one today as well, and this was another one that was pointed out, right? I mean, 200. This is another 200 target level right here. This one's got 179.99 is the open gap, and it looks like it's still kind of trying to hold on to 200. So again, I wouldn't look to try to buy a falling knife on this or catch a falling knife on this. So let's see if it goes sideways for a couple weeks and then kind of where we go from there. But all these stay-at-home names are all like, oh, we didn't know that the pandemic, people would start going out again, right? That type of thing. So that's one of the things that we've been seeing. We'll take a look at a few more, and then of course, if you guys want to look at anything too, we'll take a look at that as well. But let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon with an inside week here, a big push up right here. If you look at it, it's really not really breaking out-ish, right? It's really kind of been sideways here for a while, but it did have a nice move, and we got short on this one here off of this shooting star candle. We just liked it in the bearish radar. Our target was the 80-MA. We got there, and we're actually even better than that. We're at 35.50, which is pretty amazing. So again, we're back in kind of a big chop zone right here. Prior support, prior resistance, possibly support right here. So let's see how that holds for Amazon. Again, the big goal on Amazon was the gap fill from 2 earnings reports ago, and we got there. And then once we kind of ran out of steam, we got pretty close to all-time highs. We got that shooting star candle. To me, it was like, okay, this thing's ready to pull back a little bit. So we got that going on. Facebook, basically a short idea into today. Just a nice bearish engulfing candle yesterday with increased volume, and that ended up continuing to drop to the downside. So looking okay there. Silver, another short idea from yesterday. Why do we like silver short? The exact same reason that we liked we like the other kid, the ARKK, right? Under the 80-MA, right, with increased volume and a nice close, right? So we started actually happening 2 days ago. Yesterday was a nice move, but had room to get to a couple of those like 22 levels below. We actually gapped below there, and now we're just kind of sitting below the 50-day moving average here for silver. So this is one of the weakest sectors, one of the weakest names from yesterday. So it definitely made sense to trade into today. So one of the things with silver, guys, is really tough to day trade. So this is just one of those names. You just got to go with the daily charts and just wait for setups, right? Strong closes here, right? Nice green candle above the 80-MA, right? Gaps up the next day. Retest the 80-MA, gaps up the next day. But it's really such a sloppy name. It's just like, red, green, red, green, red, red, green, 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 just all the way up and down all the time. So, but again, daily chart setups can be interesting. Notice how it resisted the 200-day moving average up there as well. So that was on our radar. And then NEO. Again, Paul has been bullish on this name for a while. Again, I'm still looking for a close above the 80-MA, but a nice bounce off of the bottom of the channel area here. Like I said, that inside day up was pretty epic. Basically held a prior resistance level here and then held the prior support level right here off this inside day and ended up, just turned into that jack-in-the-box move with a nice push to the upside yesterday. Today I tried to get over those highs. I just couldn't, but it got up to him pretty nicely. It was strong at the open. Then just kind of really pulled back here pretty hard. So just a little bit of caution on this one so we can get out of this flag kind of consolidation period here for NEO. But there's other ones that we could look at too, guys. There's like XPEV and the other Chinese electric vehicle. XPEV have earnings today, so a little bit of a run up on that. And other than that, guys, that's all I got for this afternoon. But yeah, I'm happy to look at some requests and all that stuff. So David, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And 2020, always appreciate you. And let's see, you got Jenny. Genius Sports. Oof. Yeah, that's definitely an oof. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 red days before the lucky 13 down move on. What a drop on that one. Just nasty. So again, big drop on Genie today. Nice find on that one. And Nikolai, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in, man. I really appreciate it. So that's pretty much our lunchtime update for today, guys. Hopefully you found that edifying. And we covered a lot of good stuff. We covered a lot of the big names out there that folks are looking at. IWM, Apple, Tesla, it was fun. Bitcoin, the ARKK, Roku, all that fun stuff. And, of course, the market itself. So overall sentiment on the market, like we said, our Elliott wave count, we could still be working on that wave too. So we're just, kind of in the chop territory here coming into Thanksgiving. The next, tomorrow we'll see if anybody wants to hold anything over the long weekend. If not, we might see some sharp selling going on tomorrow, which would be pretty cool. And then we'll see what we got on Friday. Friday's a half day, so we're going to look maybe to sell some premium that day since we just start off basically at, logarithmic decay on the theta. So we got that going on. Real quick, one more look at Tesla here before we go. Tesla down to the 80 MA on the daily chart. And I think it just dropped a little bit more here. Yeah, basically just coming to our levels here still. So it's looking okay. Again, every time we get below a lot of folks try to short at the lows, and unless there's a compelling level, we don't like to get short on those exact levels, right? So anyway, good stuff. Well, hopefully you guys found this helpful. Again, like I said, we're expecting the low volume type choppish stuff. We'll see if they have any shenanigans in store for the end of the day, and then we'll do a market wrap here at the end of the day here on YouTube. So I look forward to seeing you guys then. Until then, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And we'll talk to you guys soon.